Okay, wait. Let me see if I get the good crackling noise.
Sorry, that's not royalty free.
Damn, you got me. Son of a bitch. I would like to start out this episode saying that everything contained after this is considered explicit, inflammatory. And where does this go next? Explicit, inflammatory. No, I mean only if you like motorsports. I love that joke. God bless. It doesn't land very often. I've been wanting to do this the whole time though. Like, well, no, give me the reverb back. I reached for this and then I kept talking.
Oh, it doesn't go through your mic. You have to do.
Oh shit! All right, hang on. All right, we can wrap it up. My day's complete. This is great.
All right, thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you later.
Oh, goodness. Yep. That completes the show, everybody. We will pack it up and head home now. Y'all have a happy new year. Oh, goodness. So if we're really starting this thing right now, ladies and gentlemen, I want everyone to know that I am privileged enough to sit around the table with some of my best friends. That's a small group, and this is most of them. So, gentlemen, first of all, I love you all very much. Thank you for being here, and this is a privilege and a treat. So, I love you all. Let's do this thing.
Love you too, man. You're welcome.
As we pass around the adult intoxicants here, being normal people. All right. Yeah. Ooh, hey. This is obviously the one dedicated show every year that is just absolute fuckery. I try to be serious the other 20 some odd shows I do every year, but this one is just the straight goof the fuck off. I expect no seriousness out of this one ever. So just so all the listeners know right off the bat, if you came here to listen to very serious art talk about, the craft and the people and their workflows and how they go about their day, this is not it. Pick anyone else this year. But we will get into some shit that might be considered serious, but I promise we're all sitting here with giant smiles on our faces. Yeah. Don't. And then Preston had to spite us by frowning. But we've got 5 hours of free space on this gig, or on this hard drive, so let's go, boys. Let's
Say 5 hours.
5 hours and 16 minutes as it sits. We've got plenty enough. Hopefully this episode gets everybody through their Christmas break if they hate their families. They can just put this in their...
On loop.
Yeah, just play this on loop, and maybe you'll laugh at opportune times that make your family think you're paying attention.
Is that me?
Well, it wasn't me. It certainly wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
Just so everybody knows, I'm pretty sure this is the most complicated setup I've ever had for any podcast. This is going to be episode 71. It's going to come out the first week of January. The first week? Press the button. The first week of January.
2024.
Yeah, January 2024. I've got everything out for December and the year of 2023, and it's been a really productive and insightful year, and I'm super awesome and happy that it's over, and I get to publish this the first thing next year, as is tradition so far, and I'm super stoked about it. If we're going to do some tomfoolery with the tunes, there's two gentlemen here sitting with their iPads to do some live loopy shenanigans throughout the conversation. Preston's going to be goofing off with what you need, reach over here and do it, with the audio stuff. Dan's going to be messing around with the music stuff. Rucker's just going to be messing around.
Be Ray Charles. Messing around.
And then I'm just going to be sitting here doing whatever it is that I do. We got that on 2, right? The music? Okay.
I can adjust it here too.
Okay.
Is that bug it? Just let me know.
No, I was just making sure I know where everything was coming from. All right, guys. Let's actually start this conversation. What have y'all done this year? Nobody start. Let's not all jump at once. As we all take drinks.
It's done so much. That's what it is.
Well,
I don't know where to start.
Well, since you popped up on that one, what have you been into? You've been learning a lot of new stuff.
Yeah, a lot.
A lot.
It doesn't necessarily lean into the artistic side, but it's more.
There's a finesse to it. Don't you sit here and lie to the people.
No doubt. Yeah, to try and understand what's happening at the micro scale and magnetism is pretty crazy. Yeah, but the artistry, I guess, happens to be nature in that form, and not necessarily what people are doing with it.
Is that good coffee, Dan?
It's really good.
All right.
It's the spot.
It's the spot.
Still a cover in a second. Yeah.
All right. Well, if we go clockwise around the table, that means I'm next. I did a little bit this year, and by a little bit, I mean more than I expected to do, which I had the bar set pretty low. I chose not to do a lot of markets this year, which was a big plus for my sanity. Not so much maybe my wallet, but my sanity was relieved. I think I did like 3 markets this year, maybe, and the punk rock flea market and a couple of things down in South Knox. I started the Cushion Canvas art event series that is paired with the venue of the Holistic Connection, and hopefully we can continue that into the year 2024. I have the soft date of like the 2nd week of January on the books for that. And then took some creative hardware upgrades and got an actual workhorse PC and got all that, and a big fat drawing tablet with on the screen. So I upped my tools and I upped my public facing scenario. Feel pretty good about that.
Nice. I'd like to pick your brain about that.
Well, go right ahead, brother.
So
That's what we're here for.
What does your workhorse computer consist of?
My workhorse computer is a Ryzen 5 CPU and a GTX 1070 graphics card, and it's got a 1 terabyte M.2 drive in it, which 2 of those things I just replaced because my computer took a shit on me, so I've been without it for a couple months and it's been terrible.
I feel you. Mine just died out.
But I have a 24-inch XP Pen artist tablet, which is like a draw-on monitor screen pen touch tablet thing.
Which one is it?
It's the Art 24 Pro from XP Pen.
Nice. I've got a Wacom 16.
Yeah, aren't they? Is it a screen or just a pad?
Both.
Oh, nice. I really like it, and once I got it dialed in, and with the pressure sensitivity and the curves for that I really like, I've been all over it. But it's definitely been a learning curve, and I've started trying. I don't want to say this and sound like I mean it, but I've been trying to bone up on my audio editing stuff to try and make this sound better for you guys, and that's a constant learning experience. But as far as drawing softwares go, I use Krita, which is a really good one.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
That one, yeah.
Inkscape for all the vector stuff. That has a lot to do with my 3D printing shenanigans, which I upgraded to. I have a custom built CR10 Pro V2 with a direct drive extruder and upgraded firmware and all that stuff. So I have a really fancy robot that makes really nice 3D printed things.
That's really cool. I use Adobe for like everything.
I use the current Photoshop scenario with Adobe, but I'm looking into alternative softwares for that particular task.
Have you all used Illustrator?
Adobe Illustrator? Not a lot.
Well, I've used it a little bit, but since I'm more familiar with Inkscape, I tend to gravitate to that. But the Illustrator's awesome, but I'm way more familiar with Inkscape. And if I have to do any like graphic and text editing, I'm just all on that in Photoshop since I've been in Photoshop forever.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But Illustrator definitely has more text-oriented tools and layouts for that kind of thing than Photoshop.
That's my 2024 plan. I want to get my workhorse computer
Yeah.
up and going.
What you gonna build, Hoss?
I don't know. I've been researching what I need. It's so expensive.
Well, I paid $600 and drove down to Ottawa to pick up a computer from a guy that just builds, like gaming PCs and stuff. And I had it for like 4 months, and then it shit the bed. So I was like really just getting into the groove to using it. And the first time I've ever spent money on a good computer is I've had it and I got used to it, and then it's just like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
It's basically what happened to mine. I started pushing it, and then it just said, nope, I'm done. You should have bought better stuff.
But yeah, that's that, and learning Resolume are the big things I'm working at.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a VJ software, essentially, like a video production software.
Nice.
So maybe, just maybe, if I can make a statement and try to hold myself to it, I can VJ some Sauce Entertainment events in the coming year.
I'm trying to make a cartoon. I have been for a long time, and I'm not giving up on the dream.
I'm trying to write a children's book about ice rinks and Zambonis. That's
Okay.
Ice rinks and Zambonis.
Nice.
So I finally got it all, like the transcript of it laid out. It's all in my phone right now. And then I went through and added dictations for what the imagery on the pages are going to look like. So now I just have to like try and rough draft, animate, or illustrate some of the stuff that are going to be on these pages. I'm super stoked about that because I have my workhorse computer set back up again. I can actually work on this shit.
Oh, yeah.
So that was one of the big drivers to get the computer fixed. Like this project has been in my head for like 3 years, and I've just recently started making decent progress on things that aren't the actual text in the book.
What's like the main storyline that you're trying to get across to kids
oh,
driving
boy.
Zambonis?
So the thing I really like about ice in general that isn't exactly the most prevalent in a lot of other sporting assets is that ice can be used by anyone pretty much. Like there's people of all different breeds of ability and disability out there that can just go enjoy a sheet of ice, whether it be with sleds or picks or whatever. There's all kinds of stuff you can do on ice, and I've never seen anybody not be able to play on ice, whatever it is they want to do, and I think that's really awesome. So I wanted to celebrate that ice is really inclusive for all kinds of people, and I also wanted to celebrate Zamboni operators because they cool as fuck. It just so happens I'm also one of these people. But I just
They
wanted,
hang out on ice.
yeah. Plus, I've always wanted to write a book, and I like drawing pictures and stuff, so I'm trying to roll a bunch of things that are characteristics about my person and my life into one creative outlet that is something for everyone, that illustrates something for everyone. So I'm really happy with that project and where it's at right now, but ready to push that project real hard and make some progress.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
So Preston, you've been doing a lot of stuff this year. You've been real busy.
Yeah, I've been doing more of what I was already kind of doing before, with all sorts of types of gigs, from local stuff to travel, everything from rock and roll to corporate. And now I've also become the account manager for a company here in Knoxville. So now it's my job to go out and find people to actually rent RPA and stuff, hire us for shows, and go out and operate those shows.
Well, hell yeah. So you're almost a one-man show, one shop stop for all this stuff?
But definitely not a one-man show. It takes quite a few people. I got my buddy Gavin who works in the shop with me a lot, and then I have to call in other people to help me out. Definitely can't do some of these shows alone. I can do Dan's shows alone.
Yeah, you've done a few of those alone. I've seen you do it.
I like doing those shows, though.
Do you tend to work
Are we
with
one
the
of your
same crew?
faves?
You're one of my faves.
Yes, depends on what company I'm with, but normally when I work with
That sounds
a
so
company,
good.
I work with the same crew on that company every time.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if they
Not
had-
always, though.
Okay.
And sometimes it's nice to just have extra people because somebody else might be out on another gig. So you just gotta find somebody to kind of
Cycle
fill
it.
their place.
Yeah.
And that's what I've had another goal of bringing younger people into it and trying to get them that way. I have a replacement.
So you ain't got to be doing this when you're 60?
Yeah,
You probably will, though, because you're one of those kind of people.
Well, if I have guys or girls who actually know what they're doing, then I can be 60 and still be doing it, but
be
not
the
actually lifting everything.
just conducting away.
Because if you can set this up and not have to pick up or move anything, like that's primo, right?
Exactly.
I know what I'm doing when I'm 60.
I surely hope it
I'm
ain't.
thinking.
I surely hope it ain't having a job. I'll work, but I ain't trying to have a job.
Yeah, no.
I got all kinds of stuff to work on. I ain't trying to have a job.
There's one guy at my work, I swear, I didn't know if he got paid or what, because every time I'd see him, he's over near these new sales just sitting down. And I'm like, and then a big problem arose one day, and nobody could figure it out. And he walks over, and I'm not sure, he walks over, leans over the machine, and he goes, "Oh, yeah, that piece right there is broken." I was like, that's why this guy's here. Like, he probably gets paid more than anybody in this building.
That man makes 6 figures.
Just because, yeah, he can walk into a situation and be like, "Oh, you idiots. Yeah, that's what's broken right over there." Or listen to it and just be like, "Oh, yeah, it's not putting the wild cap on it or something." And you just be like, what?
It's like you look at somebody real serious and like, you ain't holding your mouth right. No, it's that's always, if you think everything else is buttoned up, you just got to ask them how they've been holding their mouth. It's very important.
It's one base, not everybody covers, you know?
It either needs to be really open or really shut, and usually it's really shut. So what's been happening in your neck of the creative woods, Dan?
I've been busy this year.
You
It's been a
have.
while.
You have.
I've lost my mind.
I don't know about all that. Maybe some skin off your fingertips.
It's
Hey,
been
now you
wild.
had found it.
Yeah. Hey. I did get diagnosed with bipolar. Finally. I've had it forever.
You didn't just pick that up recently? No?
But it did get worse. And it's been rough, but it's been fun too, because
You're the first person I've ever had say that was fun.
well, I've just been experiencing some actual like psychotic things where it's like, whoa, that is trippy. You know, like total lapse in memory,
Yeah.
like not knowing where I am, what I'm doing, and then like kind of lasts for like 15, 20 seconds. That's a long time. You know what I mean? Especially when you're driving and you're just like, you know,
yeah.
like what is happening?
Because you can miss an exit in 20 seconds.
Yeah. But the band's been fun this year.
It has. I've tried to catch as many as the Merlin Nest shows as I can.
We've been busy.
You and old Lancaster got a really good chemistry up there. What's your drummer's name? I forgot.
We have several.
Well,
I'm trying to wrangle in a drummer because it's so hard to find somebody who actually wants to learn the songs. 'Cause that's like the secret. We don't tell everybody when we're playing is that we don't really practice. And we're just kind of, the reason we call it jazz is because
you don't.
and it's a combination of hand signals and intense eye looks.
Yeah, there's a lot of glaring on stage.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a whole nother aspect of playing music, which is it's fun. I like it that way. Which I can't even say it was my, I never could have done that if it wasn't for playing with Cornbread, because that's what he does.
Yeah, you're right. I've seen him glare at people until they play the right note or like switch tempos or whatever. He's just doing their singing. He sounds like this and he's just staring into your soul. Seen him do it many a time. So, do you have any idea how many gigs you played this year? Because I know it was a lot.
I really don't. I've lost count, which is so awesome. And most of them we've gotten a call back. we've goofed a couple along the way.
I mean, you're gonna do that. It's just gonna happen.
Especially playing that kind of jazz. Every now and then the chords just don't hit right.
Yeah.
And it's just not like, damn it, man. We were right there. Right there. Like,
9/10.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
But we're
I
at
had jams like that, wherever nobody's just meshing together and it's just like,
It's just an off night.
yeah.
Well, I can't say I've ever seen the Merlin's Nest have an off night, and if by God I have, I couldn't tell.
Oh man, should have been there at the beginning. It was rough.
Yeah.
Every beginning is rough.
Speaking of rough, have y'all heard my first podcast? That one was rough.
I don't.
Hey, wasn't that with these guys?
You weren't here, but you guys were. Oh goodness. Yeah, Ruck, you missed out on that one.
I remember that. Yeah.
So where are you at now with it?
Right now.
Yeah, where are you at now
this
with it?
weekend, this Friday, we play at the Crown Plaza.
Oh,
And that's been a pretty regular gig for you.
That's such a wonderful gig.
yeah.
They pay really well. They do a contract. It's our 5th show there.
Very nice.
What's the space? Is the space good? Where you at in there?
It's in the library lounge. So
Wow. Okay.
pop top again.
Yeah, that came through loud and clear.
There really is no stage in there, and that's it's kind of like when you first get there, you're like, whoa, this is kind of weird. But the vibe is awesome once you get going, because it's just reminds me of the hotel when in Home Alone, where he runs in and he sees Trump.
Oh man, the Waldorf Astoria.
It's
Yeah.
not
The
quite
Waldorf
as
Astoria, yeah.
awesome, but the couple times that we've played there, the entire UT football team and their family came in.
No way.
Yeah,
Neat. That's real neat.
Whoa, we got
Yeah,
we
it's-
played her.
yeah, it does that. So,
But then this Saturday, we're at our favorite place to play, and Knoxville's favorite bar, Preservation Pub.
yeah.
Where we'll also be on Christmas.
Hey.
Oh,
Even though you're listening to this and that's already happened.
Yeah, we're coming to you in the future from the past, 100%.
By the time you hear this, we're already famous.
Yeah, yes, that's exactly it. We are already famous.
forward to the past.
And you just wish you were there.
That is called FOMO, regret, among other things. What you got? Any aspirations next year for the Merlin's Nest? You got-
Definitely. We'd like to. I was hoping to get into the Bijou before the year was over, but
they had that locals only thing.
we lost. Well, we didn't even get a freaking. We didn't get told no.
Well, yeah, they probably didn't. They said they had well over 100 entries for
I'm
that.
sure they did.
Yeah, they had. I mean, I was one of them too. So I was like, "Hey, how about y'all have a podcast on this thing?" And they're just like, "Oh well, whatever. They can miss out." I'm sure it'll be a glorious production.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy for the guys that won. I know that Tennessee Love Connection got it, and I don't know who else, but they're really good people, really nice people.
Yeah, that'll be fun at the Bijou, and bringing some access to local whatnots is always awesome. So common goal there amongst creative folks.
That's a weird move for them, though. I thought, that's weird.
Well, they're pairing with the university radio station to do it because it's WUTK and the Bijou. Since the Bijou's a nonprofit, and then they're I guess they're donating the time and space on the stage to the UT journalism and media, whatever, blah blah blah, for that to all go down.
That's just, I don't think that they've ever done that.
I don't think so either.
That's they kind of had this vibe where we're a little bit more prestiged than the local scene,
Well, it can't hurt.
Oh no, I totally.
I
think it's
hope
awesome.
I hope it goes over with a bang, because that'll be good for everybody.
And then, but the real OG for the local crowd in Knoxville is Scott West,
Yeah.
because he I can't remember the post, but he put up something. I can read it right now.
Oh no, we're gonna quote people, or we're gonna be factual.
Uh-oh.
Oh God,
It's good.
This
Getting
isn't
serious.
journalism.
Oh, no.
This is hearsay and
Where are your sources?
rants and mockery right here. We're pulling.
In the month of November alone, they hosted 45 local bands, 20 out of town bands, 16 DJs, 40 singer songwriters, 40 comedians, and 4 nights of comedy improv. In
Hell
just
yeah.
the month of November alone.
That's serious business.
We are out here doing what we can for the artist community, but that dude's laying it down. This is how you do it.
Well, he got the space and the stages. He gonna make it work.
Yeah, it's
You
good
got
that
the
he's
money.
got the opportunity, and he's doing it. So.
Yeah, he made the vacuum. It's for that to get filled. He made the vacuum.
He's been kicking ass.
Still curious how the Lunarverse is gonna shape up.
Is that the one that's coming in
Yeah, where the
between
Valerium.
Scruffy and
No, that's down in the off Blackstock. That is the where the Valerium and
the
all that.
old International?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Who bought that?
Scott
Scott
did.
West.
Yeah,
What?
he's transforming
That's
every bit of
awesome.
that. Yeah.
Dang, well, there's the 2024 goal right there. I want to play there.
Well, if it's open in 2024, that'd be great. We're gonna find out.
He got a new PA.
Did he?
Yeah.
I thought you were.
sell it to him?
Nope.
I thought you were talking about the other place he bought in between Scruffy and, or he already owned it, but he was like,
Was that Bernadette's? Is that what you're talking about?
no, it's in between Bernadette's and P-Pub and Scruffy, and they're going to connect all them
What
four
else?
buildings.
Well, there's one building in between that they said they would never get because the city uses it, and they're never going to give it up.
They're going to connect on the ceiling of the roof or something.
They're gonna go over it.
Yeah, or something.
They've talked about that for years. I don't
Because-
know.
I mean, you would have heard that.
Yeah.
Promotion used to be in that building, and they kind of kicked They didn't kick them out, but their lease came up and was like, "Yeah, we're gonna make this a bar, basically." So, expanding some more,
Oh no.
which is awesome. I mean,
Well, I think you're talking about the one right next to Scruffy. 'Cause
yes,
You can
yeah.
extend that over kind of like they did with Prez Pub and Bernadette's. They just made
dropped
the
the chair.
rooftop bar
I feel terrible.
twice as wide as it was when they made Bernadette's. But there's another building that's in between all four of those. It's even taller. So they'd literally have to build like a bridge up and over it because that building in between is the one that whoever owns it does not want to sell to Scott West.
Don't look at me. I'm not doing anything over here. Don't look at me. I'm not doing anything over here. Don't leave me alone. I didn't do nothing except burn myself.
Sorry,
It's okay, Dan. No excuse for you, but yeah.
man, the noses.
Oh God.
Look at this shirt, you guys. You can't see it on
That's-
the podcast. But
No, it's. we can elaborate on the shirt. So Santa is a drummer with sunglasses,
Yeah.
and it's in a nice illustration style. And on the bass drum, the single bass drum, he's got a Christmas tree with a nice yellow golden star on top of it, and it looks like the symbols are right where Dan's nipples are.
well, this is a nice shirt, but I was talking about this one.
Oh. Well, he's got this really nice, like red, gray, and white fleece flannel thing, and it looks super comfy.
It's
Here you go,
fleece
Preston.
coat. It's not. Is that fleece? What is this? It's
Yeah, it's fleece.
It's some shaggy fleece.
Tell somebody. I dare somebody to tell me it ain't.
lined. It's fleece lined. It's got a hood. I'm cozy. I barely got out of bed today.
You carry in bed
He's
with
been
you.
wearing it for 3 days, man.
Yeah, I mean, you know that damn purple cardigan I got. I'm gonna live in it this weekend because it's clean. I'm gonna live in it. I wore it here. It's warm in the house, so I'm not wearing it right this minute. But I definitely left the house with it. Showed up in this house with it. I wore it all the way across the county. Showed up right here with it. It's comfy. I love it.
I now have 3 black hoodies that I are very comfortable.
Oh yeah, or any of them fleece lined?
I don't know that they're necessarily fleece lined, but there are a couple that are pretty soft inside, especially because they're still relatively fresh.
Yeah, they haven't had that chance to like ball up on the inside yet.
Yeah.
Oh goodness, this looks dangerous. I'm gonna do it anyway.
Coffee is good, y'all. Look at it. It's working.
Yeah. Is that what coffee does? Coffee looks fun if that's what coffee does.
It's good coffee. They're not sponsoring this podcast, or I'll tell you what it is.
Well, let's go ahead and unironically tell them what you're drinking.
Coffee.
Coffee.
Co-faithing.
We don't need any political coverage over here.
100% Colombian.
Bam Bam? Flintstones?
I wish. No, that's bad. I don't do that.
It is bad. A lot of people will tell you otherwise.
Stole it from me.
You want it back? Give me a couple seconds. I need one of them glaring jazz looks when you're gonna hit that button. Like let's pull some improv music shenanigans. Like just go like this to me when like you're really gonna do it. Yeah, something like
Turkey
that.
eye, like-
Just give me a funny look.
Just play underneath everybody. Just act like it ain't there. Just start rapping.
Just start rapping.
Yeah, everybody.
I ain't got a roll of nothing around here.
Words don't like work.
Vinyl's
like
at the
that,
house. The paper's at the house. I can roll you something. I can rap and roll over here.
Draw you something.
I mean, I can draw somebody a bath. That's all. I ain't got no pencils.
Well, you got water?
It was, yeah, it's over there, and some over here.
Oh, well.
All right, fellas, what are you doing? Is this some of your original loop tunes?
It was just some underground tones.
Underground.
Of your original composition?
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at. Well, why'd you stop? No, this finally started happening. I'm like, yeah, cool, tunes. Now we can talk over some music that's like original music. Fuck yeah. And then he's just like, boop.
Then you post it, and then he copyrights.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah, no,
it's,
that's
all
mine.
kinds of circle mess.
Gets pulled down.
As he stares at me from across the table.
That's something I've been wanting to lean into here lately. Just when I have some spare time, is actually making more things with instruments on GarageBand, because I didn't really do it much. I recorded a couple things that I already had, songs written for, and then I would do things just solely in GarageBand. But as far as like mixing me playing instruments with some of the features on GarageBand, I hadn't used it.
I'm surprised. Like, I have looked all over the internet for somebody that's doing what we're doing with the Merlin's Nest, using the Apple GarageBand loops, and there's nobody. I can't find anybody that's
I've
doing
seen
it.
a lot of people use the pods, where it's like you can program like 5 or 6 things into the buttons that are in a row.
Like the push play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they're called. Yeah.
And because that's like what what's her name does, the Australian girl, Tosh Sultana.
Yeah.
She uses
Mark
push.
Rebier's got one.
And
It's all
honestly,
about
if I
content.
had the money, if I to put the equipment that I could want, I
You
mean,
just
that's
need
what I
some
would use
YouTube
too.
ad revenue. That's all it is.
I would use what they're using if I had the money to buy it, but this is like the poor man's way,
Yeah.
basically.
Well, that's
It works, though.
I see. Okay, let's talk about this for a second.
Poor
I don't
man's
like saying the poor man's way,
you buy
because
an Apple
like,
product,
money
yeah.
don't make a whole lot of difference. Like, you either know how to do the shit or you don't. So since obviously I only have one nice thing and a bunch of shitty things, that this is the nice thing. But like, this is the grassroots way to do things. Like, I ain't never gonna sit here and say this is the poor man's way to do it. I want to say this is the grassroots way to do it, and that sounds way better than saying the poor man's way. And that's just an opinion I've come to, the last couple months, as I've really been thinking about how I describe what I do and, the efforts I try to put into public facing things. So I always say grassroots as the adjective.
Or on a budget.
I try not to say that. I want to leave money out of it as much as possible, even the biggest or the smallest
Well, for some
connotation
people,
of money.
though, that's the limiting factor. They're like, oh, I don't have enough money to start doing this. It's like, well, you don't have to have a bunch of stuff.
Well,
You just-
I think grassroots sort of gets to that, like, sort of, resourcefulness, but leaves the money out of it. And I don't think somebody's going to hear grassroots and not understand that it's, low resources type investment. So if I can just leave any mentions of dollars out of it, I try to. Because, I don't know, that just throws me out of thinking something's cool and fun when I hear it's really fucking expensive. But that's just me. So you've been grassroots in this really cool show, and you can't find anybody else that's been doing it like you're doing it.
Not using the specific like program area, which is called Live Loops inside GarageBand, which I had GarageBand, used it for years and never knew it even existed,
Yeah.
because it's just like this subsection in the app, I guess.
But now you're blowing it up and using it all the time.
I've been using it for the last year, yeah. Because when the Merlin Nest first started, I used like analog loopers, and it was taking forever to like build up a progression on the loop, switching instruments. I was like, this ain't gonna work, because it's taking me 10 minutes to do a song,
Yeah.
and people were not resonating. So I discovered this thing, and then I was nervous and have been dealing with that the last 6 months about, is this acceptable? Like using this loop.
Well, I mean, if people like Mark Rebier can be out there kicking ass, taking names, doing all kinds of well for himself with similar technology, I don't know why you can't do it.
I mean,
Because they call him the loop daddy. So if you can't use loops, then what the fuck?
Well, the interesting thing is I'm using pre-recorded loops that I make them, but I make them before I get to the show that night.
Well, I think that's just as cool as anything else. Like, why would it's your original music and you're using it to collaborate in a live setting where
And,
anything's improv.
That's the thing, is like all the criticisms came from my own head. I ain't heard a single bit of criticism about it. They're just, and most people are like, they don't even realize. and they're like, "Oh, you don't have a bass player?"
That's the thing. A lot of people, they don't. Some people do care where it comes from, but a lot of people don't. They just want to hear you do something.
Right.
Like they can't do something themselves, or whatever they do, they don't think is good enough themselves, so they won't do it out places. So when you come up and you're like, "Hey, you're doing something," as long as you're doing something, you know what I mean? Like,
And most of the major tours are doing that kind of stuff anyway.
Right. Using
Yeah.
straight up backing tracks.
Yeah, you might even have a guitar track, even though there's a guitar player on stage. And then it comes down to preference. Sometimes it's the engineer's preference. Sometimes it's a producer telling you, hey, make sure the tracks are above all the live guys. Band's not very good. Sometimes like, oh man, this band is great. Make sure the tracks are just kind of in there. And then sometimes there's certain moments where there's not even really a synth player on there, but there's some hook in the song that everybody knows that part. It's like, well, make sure that part's loud, but then make sure the rest of the band's still there so it sounds like a live show. But all those different elements that you're used to when you're listening on Spotify or whatever just come right back in.
Ooh,
Spicy.
yeah.
Because
like
also what Dan's doing reminds me a lot of like essentially a condensed version of like what people will do with Ableton. They'll make their whole like file or whatever or session, and then you can trigger different parts of it, turn different parts off, and that's a lot of what he's doing. But the ability to do it on an iPad versus bringing a computer and an interface to get the audio back out of that computer lets them just set up in the corner of anywhere.
yeah, I mean that's progressive metal / jazz and all those shredders and stuff. Now that's 100% what they're doing. They have these loops already made behind them. They'll play over them too, because usually it's just one guitar and a bassist. So that guitar is playing over that other track, gives you kind of an
And
effect like there's two guitars there.
you can build it to where as those tracks are playing, it's triggering, or when it goes from song to song even, changes all their pedals and stuff over MIDI and all that kind of stuff if you have MIDI control on whatever you're doing.
Yeah, like through an Axe effects or something like that. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
especially
pretty
if you're
cool.
playing through where it's just all one pedal that you can program. I mean, you could have Ableton just spit out a MIDI command and goes to the next song, boom, it's already on the right sound. You didn't even have to click it.
That's awesome. Yeah, that would be.
I mean, a lot of times now guys are just sitting with, like, you'll see a lot of modern shows. There's a guitar player just running around with a guitar. There's no guitar amp on stage. There's no pedal board.
Yep.
There's somebody backstage hitting all of those pedal cues if they need to, or it's already built into the show, and they hit the beginning of that song, and all the things are just ready to go.
That's amazing.
But it makes full sense when you're talking about some of these guys that play some of the most complicated shit you've ever heard in your
Yeah,
life.
people
And
like
it's
John
oh,
Five
yeah,
running
there
around
you
playing
go.
all over the world.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's like, yeah, he doesn't have time to keep sit there and clog back and forth
Well,
trying
what's
to change
the guy
pedals.
backstage doing? Playing Hungry Hungry Hippos? Like
Exactly, yeah.
all this shit, like, oh my god! You know, what are
It's
you going to
whack-a-mole.
torture that guy? Like, that poor guy. You know, damn.
It's playing through the fire and the flames, but on Guitar Hero, but it's just that.
The sound of the Guitar Hero buttons were so good. Just sounds like a mechanical keyboard. What a good toy.
Those were the days.
So what do you got? What do you got playing right now, Dan?
This song?
Yeah.
Well, the thing about the loops is they sound really incomplete compared to what the Merlin's Nest sounds like, because you gotta add a drum kit, saxophone, and a guitar, and vocals. But this song doesn't have a name. It's called C minor noodly.
Okay.
No, but I guess it's called Rabbit Hole, because
That's what you would play over.
that's the lyrics I sing,
Okay.
kind of.
Rabbit hole. I like it.
Lyrics are hard. I can't just like sit down and write some lyrics. Like they just kind of come, you know. A lot of times when I write the music first, and then it comes out as like a scat, like a jazzy, like
So you get the
I get
syllables and stuff
yeah,
planned out,
and then
you-
I kind of find the consonants, and then it's like it makes a phrase. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good. That's a lot of times if I finally get there, sometimes it takes a long time. But and then the thing is, the best songs I've written, they've came out in 5 minutes, all of it.
Well, you were already in the good headspace to put all the pieces together,
Yeah.
and you just and there it was.
I felt like I was at the right place at the right time doing the right thing, and something just said, hey, you can have this. Just kind of passed it my way.
So I really like how you explain that, because that's kind of like what I
Kind of
like.
the artist
Well,
muse, right?
well, yeah, dude, that's one of those things. Like the act of being a conduit for whatever your creativity is. Like if that's the thing that just comes through you. Like
Yeah.
you didn't say you said you wrote it, but you didn't say the idea was yours.
a
You
channel.
said somebody handed it to me. You channeled it. So that's like you being the conduit, and that's
then-
always one of my favorite things to figure out. Like what part of someone's creative process do they feel like that, or when do they feel like that, or what part of it makes them feel that.
Right.
So lyrics, motherfucker.
It's like the
what it
art
was.
of
That's
getting
it.
out of your own way. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
It's a tricky one.
Yeah, I generally ask people like, what is the ratio in your work that you feel like is yours versus what came to or came through you? And some people have been like, oh, it's like 60-40. You know, this part's mine and this part's me and that part's the other stuff. And then there's times where people are like, shit, I don't know. You know, it just kind of happens
Hell, I
sometimes.
know. For me, if I do anything intellectually, it sounds like turds.
Like if you try to put too much idea in
I'll
it.
spend 48 hours like no sleep, working on a song, and then it sound like I just throw it away because I put way too much of my mind into it.
You
It
overcooked
gets,
it in
it
your
gets
head.
too dense, and it's like, oh, I hate the taste of that.
I have a
You know?
similar thing, like mixing bands. It's almost like 90% of it should just come from the band, and I'm just here to make sure that last 10% gets done right, and I can get in my own way. Just trying to
being
fix
too
stuff. It's
analytical.
like, well, that's not my decision. They want it to sound like that.
That's the absolute most stressful thing for me now is the sound, because in some circumstances the sound is perfect, and then my vocals sound better than I can ever imagine, and then in other circumstances with another sound guy it does not sound like that at all.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't want to say it's their fault, but that whole technical side of it.
I mean, it depends on who you got on the other side of that and what flavor of theirs they put on it, you know, because everybody, I feel like, does these things different, even if they use the same programs or processes or anything. It's just up to the user, and everybody's different.
Yeah. And people fall into their own habits. A lot of, like, if you get a guy who mixes metal bands all the time, might end up mixing a jazz band. It's going to sound like there's going to be probably too much kick drum.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. We're being visited by the cutest dog. He's getting all the pets, and as we hear the music,
So vicious.
he doesn't hear the music, but the listeners and us, we hear the music, and I want y'all to know I'm watching two men pet a dog right now, and it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It's the happiest dog I've seen all day.
How many dogs have you seen today, Thomas?
This is the happiest dog I've seen all day. My previous statement stands as factual. There's no recensions or additional modifiers needed for that statement.
I mean, this is definitely the best podcast in the house.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey.
This is the best podcast in the house, and it's multi-best podcast in the house. It's happened a few times.
You know something I'd really like to see happen with
What's-
the Merlin Nest?
What's that?
So, I would like to somehow become more of a visual act as well, right?
And how would you do that?
Somehow, I've been thinking, because sometimes when we play Crafty Bastard, we've brought some fire spinners.
Mm-hmm.
You're about to break dance, Danny.
No.
Please,
Damn it.
But I would
please,
hire a break
please.
dancer. That's the thing. Is like, and then sometimes we've hired you to
Yeah,
come, or
I've come out and paint.
you've
when
donated, rather.
Well, you called me and said, "Hey, come," and I said, "Okay." So that's how that works. If you want to get me out paint places, just call me and ask real nice.
And see, I really enjoy stuff, but I want to go even further, right? I don't want to say like pyrotechnics,
Well,
but the LED light show, or hiring a visual artist or a dancer. I think like silk ribbons would be cool, or
yeah, or the fans with the long tails. That'd be neat.
fans, and, or like 3D mapping.
I was about to
Right.
say, with like video content, especially with all the looping that you do, there are ways to do it. Now, we're getting probably back out of iPad world and into computer world.
PC world.
Well, see, that's where I'm
Now
not
you
afraid.
can have, like, for every
Let's go. Let's invest
sample
in this
that
shit.
or loop that you're triggering, it also has like a video loop.
That's paired with that.
Yeah. So every time you're changing it, the video is staying with what you're playing, but also you can change it.
Yeah, digging into some Resolume stuff the other day, and the way you can set different triggers for different effects, different video clips, and how you arrange these things in a hierarchy, you can just automatically trigger them all for different things to different degrees. That would be super duper cool, because you could have, one of your loops that has a certain kind of feel for a certain couple songs, and it can be dark and groovy and mysterious and purple and green, and then you can trigger that with blah 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 whatever, and then as soon as you change the tempo or blah blah blah, you can kick it into something else that has a totally different visual look, feel, set of effects, color scheme, everything.
Merc at the concourse does some visualization stuff based off of the feed from the console, the audio console. It will affect the overlays, and I think he does have it doing some color stuff, as well as movement, all that. And then there are also shows now, especially like big EDM shows, where when they hit play on their machine up front, it's spitting out time code, and the lights already know exactly what to do, and video is triggering all their clips. That way everything's time perfect. And then you can still have an element of control on top of that. Like, you could even have it just controlling certain things, like the strobe of the lights and all that, but you're still kind of picking the colors or whatnot. Yeah. You can kind of pick and choose whether it's fully ready to go or just some of the stuff is synced up for you and you still have to control the rest, and then you can always take over.
Well, one of the things that really interests me about that particular pursuit is that a lot of the art I make is already geometric in nature, and you can play a lot with split screen, mirrored screen, quadrants, and all those kind of things, and tile and mirror these patterns with different color overlays and stuff. So that entertains the shit out of me. And if I could also figure out a way to incorporate some of the really trippy, here's the part that's about to piss everybody off, AI art into these things, I think it would be really fucking cool, the things I could put on a screen. And I'm going to try and see how that works out.
I know the lighting guy who also does the video for Papadozio does some stuff like that. He'll take artwork, he'll take high resolution photos of people's artwork.
Chance's artwork.
of multiple people. And he'll use that as visuals for their shows, and it's like scrolling and doing different effects.
I want that.
Would be awesome.
I need. That's what I wanted, and I want to make a I want eventually. I hope to make a cartoon movie. We talked about that on the podcast before. I remember, but I wanted to start out as from the grassroots. It started out as a music video, and then after the whole album is done, when you put all the videos together, it's like a full length show. Right.
Oh, nice.
That'd be pretty cool. And then as it got even bigger and awesome, it was like a whole live stage act. And like, if you wanted to see the next episode, you got to come to the show.
Right.
And then we're going to play the epic music to the...
So would you play that in an episodic fashion, like do one show, episode 1, second show, episode 2, or would show 2 be episode 1 and 2?
It would be like episode 1 would be tour of 2023.
Ooh.
And then episode 2 coming out next year, kind of thing.
Okay, that's a different kind of scale than what I was getting at. Yeah, I like that.
You're touring around. If you want to see the epic show, you want to watch the first episode of Lord of the Rings version, Merlin's Nest, then you got to come to the show, and hopefully it's at Thompson Bowling Arena.
Lord of the Riffs.
By that point, Lord of the Riffs. That's awesome.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm pretty stuck on Merlin's Nest.
I like it.
And I thought it was funny. It's not that far from the Cosmic Attic, which we used to
really
do.
not.
It's kind of like, and I realized that the other day. I'm like, wait, there's like a theme going on.
It's like it matured a little bit.
You moved outside and into a tree.
Yeah, there's more sticks.
If I turn to the dark side, it'll be Lord of the Riffs.
All right. When Dan makes his jazz metal album.
One ring to rule them all.
Yep. That's the jazz metal album. That's coming from the Merlin's Nest. The Lord of the Riffs.
Lord of the Riffs.
God, what would that album be called? there's so much room here for it to be ridiculous.
The Halls of Mordor.
We could do that. The Halls of Forlorn. That works too. Yeah. That's where we're at. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you giving me the look. He's giving me the look. Do the thing. He gave me the look. What we got here, Dan?
This is actually a Christmas song.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an original song, obviously, but it just sounds like Christmas to me.
It sounds like a country western Christmas to me.
Yeah, hey, I'm down for that. One of my favorite movies ever is The Lonesome Dove.
Yeah,
You ever
it's a
seen
great
it?
movie.
Such a good one.
I just want my piece of bottom land.
I can't tell you any quotes except for character's destiny. But this is actually the first song we played, the first time Merlin's Nest played.
This was the debut track for the Merlin's Nest?
No. This first time we ever played at Preservation Pub.
Oh.
Last Christmas. It was last Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Our first show.
Oh, so that's why it's a Christmas song.
It just sounds like Christmas. I wrote it for that night, or right before that night, and it was around Christmas when it came about. It sounds like Christmas. I think it's because of this.
Mm.
Jingle bells.
One jingle bell.
Santa came all by himself this year, just one jingle bell.
You don't have to listen to it. You can make some lyrics up for it because I don't have any. You
Well,
can-
I mean, just I'll get right on that. I think the drummer for this song is on your shirt.
Exactly. Exactly.
Satan Claus.
For you dyslexic people out there.
Oh man.
Oh, more jingle bells.
I like them boots and cats, you know?
Who doesn't? So how did it go over when you released this onto the unsuspecting public?
They dug it,
Hell yeah.
you know? That was the thing, is that was the first time, because playing with Lancaster, the Saxy boy, he is...
That was your first time playing with Lancaster?
No, but that was, he had played with me a couple times before, but he was still, like, skeptical about the whole project.
Yeah.
And I just kind of told him, I was like, trust me, man, this can work. And I was like, I feel like middle-aged women will love this music, right? That's what I was telling him. It's like that's kind of weird.
Is that what he's
but
after? Like you're trying to sell it to him? Middle-aged ladies are gonna love it.
the reason I think that happens because I mean, it sounds retarded, but I am a Cancer, so maybe that has something to do with it. But I just want to make my mom proud and happy.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I feel like internally and subconsciously, my music comes out. I want to play what I think my mom wants to hear. So I'm like, I think that this music would connect with a certain type of person that's like been through some shit.
Live life
Who's
a little
still trying to be soft,
bit. Yeah.
you know? And the thing is, like, we were playing that show, and these group of women come out and start dancing on the dance floor, and Lancaster looked at me and was like, and I was like, yeah, right? And then, you know, he was surprised because, like, people, I mean, I played in all kinds of bands, and, like, to get people dancing, that's a huge
That's
thing. Hey,
something,
that's
yeah.
so much.
And it just happened to be a group of
Whoa,
middle-aged ladies
if
that you
people
told
can-
him
yeah,
about.
it was middle-aged women.
I mean, there's a reason why that's usually like a thing in like artist movies, Ray Charles, all those, when they'll start playing and they're nervous or something, and all of a sudden everybody gets up and they just start dancing, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, yeah, and they just kind of slide.
And you
into
feed
that,
off
like,
of it
oh,
so
yeah.
hard.
Yep.
You know?
I
And
don't doubt it.
And then also is the thing is that middle-aged women specifically, really, they don't play music, and they don't like critique it so much. It's like that if it sounds good,
Just there for
it
the
sounds
groove.
good.
Yeah.
You know, if it sounds good, they know. Like they're kind of the best critics. That kind of person that just goes to work and wants to relax. If I'm trying to make music that's relaxing. At the end of the day, basically, cozy,
Because
cup of coffee.
Lancaster cracks me up though. I'm not surprised one bit he gave you some kind of crazy look after that happened.
Yeah, he's king of crazy looks on stage.
He is. He really is. I gotta get him on a microphone real soon.
He's like, he's an owl. He's like a little screech owl up there. And he doesn't realize it. He'll tell you, he's like, just so you know, I'm not mad or anything. I'm like, what? Like, I wish you would have told me that like 30 shows ago. This whole time, like, he's like, no, like, it's just my concentration face.
Just that playing bitch face, like just. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it must be hard to blow into a saxophone.
I would be sure. Yeah.
He always looks like he's struggling.
Seems like it would be a little straining. Yeah. Trying to make a lot of air go through a little tube.
Right. When he plays the electric one too, it really cracks me up because he exaggerates a little bit, like it's heavier or it's harder to fuck with or something.
The Iwi.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. Ruck, how was that jazz thing at the Birdhouse the other day? Did you end up going to that?
That was way better than I could have imagined.
That's what I wanted to
It was
hear.
ridiculous. Yeah. I've heard Wendell play before, but he had 4 ladies with him that they did like a quartet. And they were doing old songs like Ray Charles songs, a couple of his songs that he wrote, and like old blues songs from the 20s and 30s.
So I messed up by not coming, right?
Oh, absolutely. I really hope they continue to do shows like that because I know he does all kinds of stuff. Like he said, he just threw that together within the last like 2 months, just with these ladies.
Yeah.
And they each did their own little individual song too, and it was pretty remarkable. So I would highly suggest it if it pops back up. Wendell Warner at the Birdhouse. It was really nice.
Don't fuck up and miss it. Like
Yeah.
that.
Oh no. I mean, he's right there to talk to. If you know.
Yeah, how many people were there? Because the Birdhouse only holds like
3,
yeah.
maybe. I mean that.
You set up like with chairs in the main room right there.
Yeah, he was right in front of the windows.
Okay, like in the
front.
corner.
Yep.
In the bay window.
Yep.
All
And
right.
then man, I don't know. I think the mayor, she like donated a big spread. It was like a 2 charcuterie board thing.
Well, that's
and
cool.
Stuff. And I was like, well,
I might as well eat this.
All right.
I helped pay
Drinks and
for it.
stuff. Yeah. Which would be 18 bucks. 18 bucks, I think. Yeah. Nothing.
Yeah,
Like,
but
for a
still.
show. Yeah. So it was nice. Very nice.
Oh, hell yeah. Preston, what's the wildest shit you've done this year, job wise?
Was it Tony Robbins?
No, I didn't have to do anything too wild. There was a a day of setting up in the rain, and the generator didn't start until an hour before the show was supposed to start. But everything ended up being okay. It was not fun, but it was not that weird. One of the weird things, I guess, would be just looking at some stage plots and input lists before a band was about to play summer camp. There was a stage griddle on the stage plot, and a warning that said this band. Oh, the name of the band is also called Sex Brews ?
Sex bruise, like
Yeah.
like a injury bruise.
All one word.
Okay.
They must really love each other.
And it said we may throw food into the audience respectfully.
How do you do that respectfully?
That's
You
what-
look
that
hungry.
was
You
what-
look
exactly
hungry.
what I asked him. I was like,
Gallagher.
"All right, do you guys actually have a stage griddle on this one?"
like, are we making
And
grilled cheeses?
What do you mean you guys are going to throw food? He's like, "Oh, we're going to sit here and make pancakes and throw them at the audience."
Pancakes.
They also had flailing
Waffles
inflatable
would be
tube
far
bin.
more aerodynamic.
That would get the crowd real riled up.
They had some
Yeah,
flailing
waffly good.
inflatable tube bin. They also had some dancers, which at one point had fire. Which my only concern was, I don't think they cleared that with anybody.
They just
and-
did it.
yeah.
Renegade style.
I was like,
Hell
what
yeah.
happens when you melt one of my monitors? But
Well,
Safety third.
everything
Okay.
was fine.
I'm trying to think. I don't know that I've done anything too wild, crazy at work.
I recorded some background vocals in a bathroom in Mexico.
Okay.
that doesn't. What else could you do in a bathroom in Mexico?
Oh, there's plenty of things you can do in a bathroom. None of them are legal, though.
Well, I mean, we're talking regionally.
And they did apparently end up making it onto the album.
Oh yeah,
To that one song.
right.
Okay.
They're kind of buried in the back and they're heavily processed, but
They're
on
there.
it.
They're there. By God, from the bathroom in Mexico
Yep.
to the album.
Is that a toilet I hear in the background? What is that?
Yeah. And that's groovy. Yep.
And then I also did another interesting gig. I've done it 2 or 3 times now, but it was in a hospital hospital.
What?
Yeah. So we go in, we set up video cameras and wireless mics for the surgeon. And this one's in a cath lab, so they're like going through people's veins and stuff. And so, but we broadcast this to a conference. I think this time it was in New York, so there's a bunch of doctors and stuff up in New York. They were also had the same thing going on where they had another surgeon and all that set up in Germany. And I want to say there was also maybe somewhere in DC, or maybe it was back in New York again. But yeah, and it was kind of weird because he'd be working on him, and all of a sudden he would turn to the broadcast, and he would be like, "All right, so what do you guys think we should do next? Like use this kind of stint or whatever?" And this person's just laying here being operated on.
He's
and somebody in
phoning
New
a
York
friend.
said, yeah.
Phoning a friend from, do you want to be a millionaire? Hey, Dad. Huh, Dad.
It's a fan vote. Which organ should we remove next? Huh?
That is really neat, though. That was an educational thing, right? Or was that a conference sort of?
They do it regularly. It was out of Johnson City. There's a guy who was apparently really renowned for it. I think he is moving to another hospital. So they just did the last broadcast about a month ago. And unfortunately, I was out of town and couldn't do that one. I was doing the Tony Robbins.
Can we say you were working for the cult? Can we say that? Do you want me to say that?
Always works for the occult.
It's very esoteric, this whole ordeal. Yes. He's still absent with the answer.
Yeah, there's a lot of math going
He's like,
on
I'm
right
not
now.
gonna. Nah. Like they'll hear this. I won't get hired next year. I know it.
Oh no, I was trying to remember what thought popped in my head before you asked that. Which is funny enough, one of the guys I've worked with at Tony Robbins and some other gigs. We figured out he's been on the other end of one of those broadcasts before. Not necessarily the one that I've been mixing for, but we both worked for different clients who do those medical broadcasts. And he was like, "Yeah, it's kind of gross." I was like, "Well, you're sitting in a control
It's
room the
kinda
entire
gross.
time. I'm mostly sitting in a control room, but to set it up and then also to double check on stuff, I have to go in the room." The one thing they did tell me, they're like, "Yeah, if you see blood on any of your cables, we'll clean it off before you do it because that's a biohazard."
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah, they
sanitize
don't
that.
let us do that. The creepiest part is the first time I did it was like when COVID was still a thing. I was like, I don't even know if I want to go into a hospital right now. But
Yeah, that's fair. Very, very fair.
I remember watching shows like that when you could just get Discovery Health with
Oh,
regular
shit.
cable
All
back
the
when I was
time.
like 7.
All the time.
You're sitting there eating something, mom walk in, like, what the hell are you watching? And I'm sitting there with my mouth full of,
Yeah, like brain surgery, and you're sitting there
Oklahoma
eating
surgery, like-
ramen noodles or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, that happened a lot in my childhood.
Oh, God.
I'd be watching some nature programs about like rainforest spiders. My mom come in the room, he's like, "Oh my
Just take off walking. You're like, all right, see you later, Mom.
god!" I'll hang out somewhere else. Yeah. That happened a lot.
No doubt.
Mummy's okay, but like rainforest creepy crawlies, no, she ain't. Centipedes, millipedes, big ass spiders, she's out.
Nah, I don't do no centipedes.
Crack me the
Millipedes,
fuck
fine.
up though.
Centipede? Nah. No.
Crack me up.
Ain't that right? No.
I think the only reason he hasn't like worked his way over here to steal pets from me is that I'm the most encaged.
hard for him to get over here.
there's-
Yeah,
he's big and there's
he
not a
did
lot
the
of room.
math
He
right
did do
here.
the math when he came over. He did.
And it was like,
Yeah, so he's got 3 sets of hands he can abuse over there. Yeah. Dan, did you write this one? Nope. This one's just on there.
It's just a little jammy jam. It don't have like, yeah.
Dan says done.
Turned the spotlight on him. He got nervous. It's not like this man doesn't perform live in front of dozens of people on a regular basis.
Dozens. Dozens and some more. About a dozen on any given occasion.
Maybe a baker's dozen.
If we're lucky.
Sometimes.
yeah, that's better
Hey.
than a few. I mean,
Oh, what y'all don't know is that was Preston dragging his beard across the microphone foam. It sounded like ripping Velcro. Oh, yes, do it. Do it. Hang on. Are you going to do it again? Okay. And see, if we did this all the time, it wouldn't be near as special.
No. Oh man. I do have a few paintings I'm about to finish up, so that's nice. Have a little
kind of
over, like
things?
10 days off.
He's got some paintings.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Can you describe
Unfortunately,
how they look?
yes, I can.
Can you not talk with your lips on your microphone?
So the one I just finished is it was basically like a stencil outline that I used the cricket to cut out.
Was that gold sparkly looking one? Ooh.
Yeah, that black 3.0. It mixed with that gold way better than I thought it would, and it made like a real nice texture too.
It takes alteration real well.
It really does. The silver doesn't show up as much, but it's just not. It doesn't
Right.
pop as much.
But that was a portrait piece for somebody, right? Is that what you were telling me?
Yeah. A guy that's really been an advocate for me at work told me I was worth $60 an hour the other day, and I was like, "Well, you better tell my boss that." Would be great. I appreciate it. Like, you got some clout in here, so
Yeah,
on.
do the thing.
But yeah, I finished that one up for him. Give him kind of a Christmas gift and kind of a thank you for just helping me out and stuff. And then the newest one is the one you remember I stippled with the trees.
Yeah.
Had the Black Mirror river going through it. I finally got the walls up, and I finally got of the cave, and then I finally got the crackle to put
Ooh.
over the top of it.
Oh, he made his way around. All right, fine.
And,
Now I'm petting the dog.
But I also mixed that gold with some of that mica,
Mm-hmm.
that acrylic medium that's got it suspended in it, and built up some sections that I'm hoping will crack and show through, and you'll have like veins of gold coming down it.
You know the glass bead media you've used in the past?
I used that on this too.
Oh, okay. So it was the mica
was-
powder with the glass beads?
So no, I did a layer with the glass beads with it was a glow red, but I used just a little of it so that it would pinken
You
out.
mother... That sounds really cool.
And then I'm gonna take a little bit of gold and brush over the top of it so that you get like a pink gold
Yeah.
coming through in some spots.
I was curious how you played that, because my ass would definitely mix some of that mica with the glass bead, medium stuff, because then you get light bouncing around all kinds of crazy ways in there.
I would have done that if more of the bead medium was going to show through.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just going to be cracks.
Okay.
So, I mean, you may get a little bit of that texture back there, but not much. That was mostly just to build it up and give it more body.
Yeah. It'd be a lot of refraction. Mm-hmm. I want to see that. That'd be neat.
I mean, so that's kind of what I did on that the wormhole one that's weird shaped, and it's coming and it warps around. That outer layer is the they're not glass beads, but it's the shards. They're kind of like square shaped, I guess,
Yeah.
or cube shaped, and they're clear. So I just laid that in the acrylic medium over the top of it.
Neato.
It's just you can see through it and then see the color underneath it, but tell that texture is still there too.
Well, what else? Is there anything else in that group of paintings
so-
you're going to be working on?
Do you remember the fisheye one that I started on? I finally figured out. I think I'm going to use that gold and black 3.0 to
Ooh.
put the final tree on that one. So that'll be good to be done because I've only had like 15 paintings started for like 2 years. And then I think I'm going to finish all the eyeballs.
Yeah.
The
The lenses? Have you used all those lenses you got?
No. I mean the hexagon one I showed you.
Oh, yeah,
That was
yeah.
all the pupil, or like irises floating in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. I think I'm just going to put a border on that one and call it done because I don't want to work on it anymore. And it looks fine.
So you calling it done?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm gonna keep working on my emotions series. I've got 3 of them out of 10 done so far. I wanted to do this series by like May and have it done this year, but my life experience did not give enough fruit to make that happen, which is fine. The Universe Man piece is the one I really want your help with because I can't scan my own face.
Okay.
I've tried; it didn't work out.
I'm interested to mess with that thing too.
Yeah,
Just with
so-
what I've learned in lasers in the last bit.
I think we could have a fun afternoon working on that. I eventually want to scan and reproduce my whole self, like 3D print my whole self in sections, just to goof off and say I've done it, like a full size replica of me.
Yeah.
That'd be really neat.
That would be pretty cool.
But for right now, I just want to capture my whole face and then stick it on the painting where the top half of my face was, and then have it just good to go like that. Because the whole ordeal was to get my face on there from the first, get go, but it didn't work out like that. And it was okay for what it was at the time, but now I have the hardware and the software to be able to put my whole face on this painting.
Damn.
So
okay,
I want to real bad. Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Well, I mean, you name it Universe Man, and then there's somebody's half a face. They're like, can I just get my whole face, please? So I'm gonna get my whole face on there, like beard and all. Like it's gonna happen.
So I did see it may be a technology that they've had for a while out there, but one of the ladies at work brought in this little statuette, and it was a 3D printed statuette of her that
Yeah.
looked just like her, with like down to color, like facial features, like it looked like Pam. It was really crazy. And she got it in like Fort Worth or the Keys somewhere
Yeah.
down there. Like they just, I guess she walked into a thing and they scanned her body.
Well, there's a
and
company
sent it to her
called
2 weeks later.
There's a company called Double that does full scale. They have essentially like a closet you walk into with lights and cameras,
That's literally what she thought.
and they take pictures of you from all angles, and then I think they use Shapeways printing multicolor, like powdered fused centered powder bed printers, whatever, like colored polyester or whatever polymer it is, and then they do full color reproductions of you at like 1/64 scale or whatever.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts.
Yeah, the definition you can get from that data capture technology, that array of cameras and how they stitch all that together versus the degree of accuracy on how they reproduce those things with the size of beads of polymer that they shake together and then heat up and melt together and dye, however they make the colors. Like the accuracy of that's ridiculously accurate.
Yeah, it
it's
was
so damn cool.
mind-blowing. Like I was just
So she put the action figure version down of herself in front of you. It was like, check this shit out.
yeah, pretty much. They were all looking at it, and I looked over and I was like, "Damn, that's crazy! Like, what the hell?" Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, I would think that's really, really cool. And it is, but I want a full size me. I really do.
that's something I'd like to know more about is 3D printing and stuff. Just for the simple fact that there's only one other person besides the main guy that does 3D printing up there, and he does everything. And I just feel like there could be a day where they piss him off.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
like, "You know
probably.
what? I'm done."
That could definitely happen. I ain't gonna say that it won't, because
So,
I've
they
been
were
pissed
asking
off.
me, he was missing the other day, and they were asking me about something, and I was like, damn, I wish I knew that, because I'd be able to be like, yep, what do you
What
need?
did, can you disclose what they asked you?
Basically, it was about a part in a CAD software called Blankmates, I think, something like that. But it's some way that you 2D. It's basically giving your CAD data and your die data from you just giving it the blank, basically.
Okay.
You're tracing out the blank for it, and then it will tell you.
This is
what
how you
kind
build
of-
the die. and
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
you would need a die of this depth with this kind of radius. Blah blah blah. So yeah, no, I didn't know about that at that point. But as soon as he walked away, I was like, "What is that?"
Yeah, I got the keyboard out.
Dang it! I wish I
Well, we can talk about it.
I was glad I couldn't fake it.
Right, yeah.
Dang it.
Don't want to tell nobody the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can fill your brain with some stuff about that sometime. Yeah, for sure. But I really want a full size, and it's gonna be stupid. Like nobody needs a full size 3D printed reproduction of themselves. Nobody needs this. But I appreciate the skills and ability that I have to make something so ridiculous, and it will take a lot of work and technical knowledge to make that happen. And as a technical achievement, that's more the challenge that I really, really enjoy. Same with putting my face on the painting. Like, that's a technical challenge that encompasses many of my skills, like all the 3D stuff, the data capture stuff, the reproduction stuff, the, making sure the point clouds and everything render a good model, and then printing and post-processing that model, and then painting the shit to where it actually looks like it belongs in the environment that I painted on the canvas. Like, that whole arena of skill set is something I really want to flex in that particular piece. So that's the big flex of 2023, that piece. But yeah, I want to upgrade that piece to my whole face.
The full scale model 3D printing makes me go back to like a Greece period when we're Marvel chiseling like full scale people, 12-foot tall people,
Right.
and you're just like,
And a 6-foot tall man worked on this, and he leaned a ladder against it to carve this guy's ear. Like, you got a 1,000 or 4,000-pound chunk of marble, just like, oh yeah, just stand it up over there. I got all the tools I need. We'll move it
6
one
months.
day.
spent 6 months on this ladder.
We'll
carving
move
out
it
his
one
face.
day.
Yeah, I need one of those. I'll just set it out next to the console, so after the first 3 songs, I can just walk away.
Dude, you just need a hoodie on it and some black pants, and you're good to go. Like, why is Preston barefoot? He hasn't moved in ages. Don't worry, as you say from across the room as they're looking at the.
No, you have a little mic and a little speaker. Like, yeah, no, I'm fine. Just don't look directly at me. I'm fine.
Well, that would also, like, having that full scale replica would also allow me to like model things on scale of my person. So the 3D printer I have, I can make scale items to my person.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to design, like a wristwatch or like a gauntlet or something, not that I'm gonna sit here and be like, I'm gonna make my own 3D printed armor, because I don't want that.
You want a 3D printed chastity belt, don't you?
Boy, if we're getting back to that spreader bar really set this conversation up, didn't it? Yeah. I'm gonna have a 3D printed like a gag box for the lock. You got to twist it and turn it a certain way and go back and forth.
Well, now you're gonna have to have an attachment spot for the spreader bar.
Yep. But I want to be able to like scan my arm and then sculpt around my arm or whatever in the program, and then be able to just like shoot it over to the printer and then put it on.
Yeah.
As a workflow. Like, I don't want to make armor, but
I mean,
it'd be really neat.
It would be really cool to have some like one of those. I don't know. I guess it would be Middle Eastern African that I've seen, where it's like a bracelet, but it's like an intricate woven like metal piece that's across. I mean, you could do that with the not necessarily the metal, but you could do it with whatever you could print. Lay your opals
Right.
and stuff into it. It'd be cool.
Getting some good ASMR joint rolling noises right now. These are the finest legal smoking herbs, everybody.
That's right. What are they up to now? Delta 99?
I think the other day I saw Delta 57. Delta 57.
So is that like the octane? Like, I don't.
No, it's
I'm
like the
getting-
ketchup. It's like the ketchup. Oh man. The strain was Heinz Enormous. Yeah.
Let's say it's gonna start sounding like flight info. I'm on Delta
Yeah.
592.
A64, yeah. Foolishness.
Delta 866. This is air traffic. Can I?
The closest dispensary to the airport is if you take a left just off the interstate.
The most recent pre-light store was doing some point cloud stuff.
They
like,
were.
sensors like all around the stage, and by the end of the tour, I noticed they also had like 2 out front, and they could move in like this 3D space.
So that's how they got the camera path work. They had all those different points of reference, so they were just digitally moving that camera around.
Well, when it was like actual camera footage, that was a real person,
Right.
Or the drone.
Yeah, there was a lot of drone footage fed
But
in
when it
there.
was very like animated kind of stuff, that was all. But I noticed like a lot of times the camera was pointed or mounted in pretty much the same spot as the scanner. So they did have stationary cameras too, so they could do some stuff that way. But a lot of the flowing movements, I noticed there's a person actually like up on stage doing
Well,
that
I was
kind of stuff.
I was going to pick your brain about some of this off mic, but it's okay that we're talking about it right now. I was really curious how they pulled off some of those graphics, and I know sort of how they augment some of that live feed, but how they were doing the camera movement specifically inside there, I didn't know what the
I'm
hardware
pretty sure he's
setup was.
doing that with like a gamepad controller because we sat behind front of house one of the nights, and I watched the guy who presumably was controlling all of that, and he would just sit there with a controller, and it looked like that's how he was panning and zooming in and doing all that.
Neato. It's an Xbox controller you fucking watch.
But then they feed all of that to the video
Logitech.
guy, and that's how it can get blended between like the actual live
Yeah.
video and just that. Plus, the guy who's doing lights and lasers is also doing some analog video creation / modulation, like actually going through a modular synth. You'll see him reach over there and kind of tweak it.
Yeah.
And that goes back to the video guy to use as a visual if he wants.
Man, that whole setup made really, really cool results. I greatly enjoyed that particular bit of VJ-ness. That's one of the most unique setups I've seen as far as like live video production, like with the streams and all the feeds and everything they were using. Definitely.
Now they're integrating like Apple Watches into it. Like the final night, everybody who was participating and had an Apple Watch, iPhone, all that. You kind of have some specific stuff to make it happen, but they could put the heart rates of the heart rates of the band, all of them, and then averaged the crew, all of them averaged the people on the stream, and then all the people who were in the crowd. And so you could kind of see,
That's
like, obviously the
fucking
people
neat.
in the crowd and the
That is pretty
band
crazy.
have a pretty high heart rate, whereas the crew's a little bit lower, and then at home is typically a little bit lower than that too, because you got some people just sitting there. But then
Was
you
that
watch
an
some
airplane?
people are
That's
like
an
at
airplane.
160 beats a minute. You're like, oh my
What are y'all doing, huh?
Yeah, we all know you just told on yourselves.
Yeah.
Like, look at them amphetamines. That we hear an airplane, don't we? That's an airplane.
yes.
Okay, cool. Just so everybody knows, that's an airplane. And it's picking up real well. That's
Finally got to fly on a flight, and I was like, okay, I think this is one of the ones I've heard before.
yeah,
Because I looked down, I was like, I can't like see my house, but I know it's.
over there.
I
like-
recognize that hill and that hill. Now I'm right in between them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the flight path to land in McGee Tyson's kind of funny because you're like over half the county and then you land.
Yeah, I've only flown once, so I don't really know.
Well, they make really similar noises to that right there. Really similar noises. I'm trying to think the last place I think the last time I got on a plane, it was to go to Florida for vacation with my papa. But then the time before that I got on a plane was to go to Vegas for my uncle's birthday. No, last time I was on a plane was Vegas. Before that was papa's vacation.
New York City.
What were you doing up there?
We went in 07 for basically my graduation present.
Ooh.
It was pretty nice. Ate a $120 steak at Delmonico's. It was really good. You could cut it with a spoon.
A spoon. A spoon.
Just slide it down. You don't even have to put pressure on it. Just,
The weight of the spoon.
yep. Just, so good.
It's been a really long time since I've been on a plane. I've driven a lot.
I was about to say, as much as you move around, that's kind of a surprise.
I've driven a lot. I've taken a lot of buses. Because I'm all about the bargain deal, you know?
Planes are
I'll-
expensive.
Yeah, they
I can
are.
handle some discomfort to save a couple $100, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for sure. Coffee-headed ninny muggins. I just read your cup. I just read the cup.
That's good.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
man.
damn ninny muggins.
Ninny muggins.
I'm dressed like a garden gnome today.
You kind of are. You kind of are.
I am a garden gnome.
There should be a mushroom around you somewhere, like one you can just kind of like
sitting
lean
on
on. Yeah,
A stool.
yeah. That's it.
Sitting in it
A
cross-legged.
toadstool.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because I was gonna make a post the other day because I love AI art. That shit's so addictive. I'll just think something in my head and I'll be laying there and like I'll literally wake up sometimes.
All right, let's talk about this, Dan. What's the dumbest shit you've ever typed into that? Because
dumbest shit.
I've done some dumb shit.
I mean, this is pretty dumb.
I mean, that's gorgeous.
That's great.
What was the prompt for that? Do you remember?
Old man Merlin sitting on a toadstool with. I wanted it to kind of do the Alice in Wonderland worm. See that worm?
Yeah.
So
That's a giant earthworm.
that's the tricky thing about the prompts. Is it is an art kind of in
Yeah.
itself, like.
Don't let people hear you say that.
Because you gotta like go back in and be like, no, not that kind of worm, like this kind of worm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the interface that Adobe has with their what is it, Firefly? Is that it?
Yeah.
They have a really unique interface that's a bit more graphically oriented as far as the user interface.
Very
goes.
user friendly.
Yeah, it's really easy to navigate, but if you need to have some kind of like
That's the
vision
funnest
of
one,
what you're trying to get out of it, or else you're just going to aimlessly wander through the options. And
which is
just,
so much fun.
it is. But if you're trying to get a certain look out of it, you really got to figure out how to rein it in and do that.
And that's kind of actually one of the things that it lacks as compared to standard diffusion, because you can use that image to image, and you can really pinpoint what it creates. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to keep everything repeatable and consistent. Like Midjourney is getting better at that, and that's what I use most of the time. But there's still some difficulties if you're trying to make a series of images, especially with a character in them or with similar environments.
But at the same time, like, I totally hear the argument about, what is the point of a graphic designer anymore when you can just have a Creative Cloud account?
Yeah, but
I mean, you can create anything.
Yeah, but not just everybody can just beep, beep, boop, boop on the keyboard and get exactly what they need, or learn how to take what they get and turn it into what they need.
Yeah.
Like, I'm on both sides of this. Like, I think it's a useful tool, and people are getting all kinds of fucking butthurt about it being a really good tool.
And especially Adobe Firefly, because it's specifically like generated for. I feel like it's very like made for creators and businesses
Yeah.
to be like to like not have to like get a photograph. Like, you can make real looking photographs with
I typed in a Bengal tiger into one of my paintings once, and it looked like the most absolute ridiculous Bengal tigers. But this was also like 3 months ago. It's a lot better now. But it was not proportioned naturally, so, and it just looked goofy. But a little bit of work would have had it nice, but it looked real goofy.
That's the thing with like the standard diffusion XL and the DreamWorks. Those are incredibly accurate.
Yeah.
Very fine details of hair and everything. It's wild.
Now, with Midjourney, some of the stuff you got to do, you have language in the prompt language that allows you to dictate like the aspect ratio, and then what level of definition you want in that, and then you can play with the arrangement of your prompt. So there's a lot of different ways to really. It's a little more technical because it's text based, so it's more linguistically, challenging to make this statement that the computer understands to do that with.
Kind of like learning code.
Yeah, but it's not so much like code per se with zeros and ones and all the stuff that coders would use. It's just
The English language.
how do you apply the English language in a syntax that isn't exactly the most natural for you, but the way the computer understands it best. So there's a weird disconnect between how you build these prompts and versus how you speak English to other people. It's fragmented.
Be as simple and direct as possible, but also include as much detail as possible. That's how you get the best image.
That's where you're going to breed that creative side that's going to make it where you still need
Yeah,
to create,
exactly.
like,
That's
the
my point.
graphic designer, because you're going to go, oh shit, I like that style. I like what he's able to do with his prompts. And you're going to hire that guy because you could do it, but he can do it so much better.
Right.
So I mean,
but that's the thing
that's one of the things in ours. Like they talk about Industry 4.0, and they want all the data to go straight on a cloud, and you'd be able to access it, all that, and that's going to give you the same kind of idea. They need to add in the AI with that to be able to manipulate that data. I mean, because it's so much. You talk about. I mean, they're making so many parts and stuff like that you got so much data coming through one person. Two people can't crunch all that. So you've got to start adding in that AI and having the people to be able to wrangle the AI to do what you want with that data is, jobs. People are never going to not have jobs when it comes to AI. 'Cause you still need the people to run it.
Yeah, and seeing people get like actionably upset and making all kinds of protest work and speaking out against it and stuff, really, like, that's spending energy on the wrong side of history if you come to look at it. Like, in a long scale term of things, like any other technology, you either get used to the fact that it exists, or you're just going to be one of those assholes like wasting time and energy fighting against the flow of society. And that's not a good way to be. Takes a lot of energy, not very healthy.
It's hard to be a dinosaur.
Yeah, and I don't, and there's a lot of people that I really like as artists that feel this way, and it just kind of bums me out because I don't know if it's whether you don't understand like how this affects society as a whole, or if you just get really uppity because you're worried you're going to lose your job or creativity, you're able to make money doing what you're doing. I don't think either of those things are really possible because I'm the only person that can make my art. You're the only person that can make your art.
Yep.
Preston's, you're the only person that does what you do. Dan, same with you. Like, everybody does the things they do their way, and nobody else does it that person's way but you. So that's just the innate thing about being human. I don't think you can ever train a computer to do something exactly like you would do it, or exactly like you would do it, or exactly like you would do it.
But that's the thing, is you can tell it to paint a portrait of Rucker, and like I could give it a picture of Rucker.
Yeah,
and I
it
was
can
like,
paint one in any style.
Picture of Rucker in a different style, different stance, but in the style of Van Gogh, and it will look exactly like fucking Van Gogh painted it.
Yeah,
and that's where it gets shady. It's like, who gets paid there? Van Gogh should make some money, right? I mean,
if his works are in public domain, which I believe.
Well, I mean, but take somebody who's alive today.
Well, that's another thing.
That's what it's doing right now.
Well,
currently.
The Facebook came out a couple weeks ago and said that all of their Meta AI that is used for their AI image generation, text-based stuff that they've got all across their platform now, was trained on all the public images that have been posted to Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
So that's how they pulled their data to do all their machine learning, blah, 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 or whatever it was to train
and
their
Google, AI. Google's the biggest, scariest AI because people have been typing into Google for years and years, decades at this point. And their open source is everything they have.
All the darkest shit on the internet.
Oh my God.
So that's why it's so
Everything that blurs
intelligent,
out.
right? I mean, because it has like basically all of the internet.
Yeah.
And then
It really does.
And then they named it Bard.
Google Bard.
Bard AI.
And Gemini.
Yeah. Gemini is like the overarching entity of Bard.
Which, I mean, I like the theme.
Gemini's
I
good.
like the theme better than any other thing going on, but still, like, that's the scariest AI, but also the most powerful.
So I pulled out my phone to go through some of the things I've done on Midjourney lately. I wanted to tell y'all some of the prompts I've been typing into this shit. Some of them are good. Some of them are thoughtful. Some of them are just turds. So the last one I did, the most recent piece, is the void that I scream into.
I think I saw that.
Yeah, I posted it on the not AI. So now I'll talk about it. This page exists. It says not AI art. I swear. It's on Facebook. That's where I post my AI art. There's a disclaimer in the actual about section of this Facebook page about it only being AI art, contrasting the actual title of the page. The title of the page is a fucking joke, everybody. So, not AI art, I swear, is definitely a page full of AI art. 100%. So a lot of the stuff I goof off or like the errant thoughts I don't want to draw or anything. I'll type them into Midjourney, and then if I post them to public consumption, that's where they go. So now you're in the know. Go find it if you want. It's bullshit. I was goofing off with bearded ginger man screaming into a microphone that looks like a paintbrush because I'm brainstorming about new logos for the whole this thing. And some of them look like dudes covered in paint screaming into paintbrushes. Some of them look like this guy where it's just like he's got a light up paintbrush thing and it looks like he's holding a candle. And then there's this poor guy right here. And it's just goofy. Just absolutely goofy. But some of
so
these are
fun, though,
it is. And none of them look like me, and it's great.
It's like silly computer.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I wasn't specifically trying to make it look like me, but I can stereotypically type in and see what happens. I typed in orgy because I was looking for something to post and use with the Orgy Cast Facebook and Instagram post the other day, and it came up with this thing of just a bunch of fucking weird, what is it? Esoteric looking creatures, like very
That's
Hieronymus
badass.
Bosch looking
That's
creatures.
DreamWorks.
Yeah,
That's
this is
hell.
yeah. So there's a bunch of silly shit like that. What's the next one? I tried to do some like sketches of hockey players and stuff for the children's book I was talking about. Some typography, the letter P for my sister. I'm trying to think up some artsy things to hang in her house. Some graffiti stuff, and then ethereal emoji was the theme of the last cushion canvas, the last cushion canvas paint event, and that's what the inspiration for ethereal emoji looked like. I may have to put these things in an Instagram post so people can check along with this foolishness. Truffle of trees. What else? Portrait style potato, single source of light, black background, raw potato, and center borderless. So I'm trying to make a really fancy like display portrait of a potato because this is an inside joke between me and some of my hometown friends about how the portrait of that potato years and years ago sold for $1 million. So they're just like, Thomas, you paint a fucking potato, dude, sell it for $1 million. You got it. Art Basel, go baby, go. And then I did this. The most luxurious portrait of an Idaho potato was get some real fucked up results.
What? So that's Midjourney?
Yeah, this is Midjourney.
Is that an app or something?
It's
Bro wearing potatoes
I
on
know.
his head.
You're on their web browser?
it's a they have a Discord channel, but they're about to get their own dedicated website. So they're about to jump over to their own stuff. And then there's a lot of some of the stuff I've done for Soft's Entertainment, like some of these images, like that graffitied up, fucked up side, blah blah train, subway train. And then there's stuff that I did for the Cushion Cannabis advertising or Cushion Canvas advertising, like messy painting table and blank canvas easel, scattered art supplies with paint tubes and cannabis nuggets on a table, all white borderless scene.
Nuggets.
Yeah, cannabis nuggets. And then this is what that looks like. That's what it gave me.
Nugget. That's some nuggets.
So
Some blank canvas.
it is, and it's most of what I asked for,
Yeah.
So I've been using those these generated images for the Cushion Canvas advertising. So the Facebook page, Instagram post, those kind of things. So that's been neat. And then there's a lot of just really goofy shits like this that come up in that particular vein of.
I like the one in the top left. That was hilarious.
That's so
Yeah,
good.
it's just like the nuggets are
So
glued to the
good.
canvas.
Oh my god.
And the last one I tried to do that was real goofy was I tried to make a Thanksgiving turkey looking Reese's cup because what else is it going to be? Because you got the pumpkins for Halloween and the trees on Christmas. Can I have a Thanksgiving Reese's cup? So it'll be, a roast turkey.
See, I get these ideas. If I get my idea about a prompt in my head, that's something I want to see. It's just like, oh, I gotta try it.
Yeah, yeah.
So right now I'm thinking, because I saw that. Now I want to type in a little cannabis nugget circled around and worshiping a giant cannabis nugget.
Oh, I got you. Hang on.
It was like whatever. It's so funny to look at what it comes up with. It's just like, wow. And then sometimes it's like, damn, that would be really cool to fucking paint that shit. But who's got time for that?
Yeah, and it's not that I don't want to spend the time making original art for the Cushion Canvas stuff. It's that I'm really trying to use this new tool and see how efficiently I can use it. So I'll take those images and I'll put them in Photoshop and add all the text and info and whatever and edit them up real nice to make them work. Change the size, whatever.
But there's such. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, Dan, damn it, I had things to say. Why?
Go ahead.
No, I think I'm done. Go ahead, please. It's just some bullshit,
Sorry, I had the thoughts come in my head and they just kind of come out of my face.
I mean,
Oh, fuck.
that's fine.
But with something that's so interesting about the AI art is if you're too simple with it, it takes the easiest route. Like
Yeah.
it gives you the most simple fucking image. And why is it always creepy? Like why is it a lot of
You know
times
why?
it's
You know
just
why?
like,
Because
is this so
there's
creepy?
if the uncanny valley didn't exist, it wouldn't be creepy. The uncanny valley exists, so these things look almost right, and then it's just like, why are they off? I don't like it.
Yeah, why are
Why?
they so creepy?
Yeah.
AI, you got a dark mind. And it's lazy. It's like, if you don't tell it, basically, you gotta put all these prompts to say, take your fucking time.
Yo,
Masterpiece,
it makes
professional portrait.
So look, as I zoomed in on this, these people look like they have a plant on top of their heads, and the roots go down onto their foreheads.
Like, yikes.
That's I like this.
You got, but if you tell it, be nice.
But
They're
the
happy
other
little
ones,
beings.
the other picture that is similar to this, they all are like real weird tree looking things. They look like
they look
dark crystal.
they look like
bros.
yeah, they kind of. But then the third picture, these all look like the crazy looking spirulina broccoli or whatever, where they all they're all shaking it at the they're all yelling. It looks real weird.
What is the
Hang on, I'll show-
worshiping look
it's
like?
it's a giant nug. It looks like a big string of hops.
It's on fire
It's a
too.
cornucopia.
Oh my god, it's emitting light. I don't know if it's on fire.
All right,
but
what else
it's
can we
glowing.
make? What else can we make?
And then there's hands doing that. Like
What happens if you put? I bet if you put "Show Me God," it would show like some bearded man.
so,
descending from
I
sky.
did. What was it? Digital Jesus in there a couple months ago. Digital Jesus,
That's a
and
good one.
that one actually made it to my Instagram on the KAANP for some reason. It was because I posted that with the AI art specific episode I did like a couple months ago.
Did it show you Jeff Bridges in Tron?
Oh my god, it did not.
That's what's cool about the Dream Studios one. It's really accurate, and you can do celebrities and shit. It's pretty cool.
That's a good reference, though, Preston. I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much.
I've never really used it image wise, but I used it a lot like at work. I mean, there's me being an intern. I've not went all the way through school, so there's some things that'll pop up, and especially with that Fraunhofer machine that I started using with the magnetics. I mean, there's so much of that stuff that I had to look up and try and figure out what the hell it was, because I'm just like I don't know. And then I just typed it into, because our company actually has their own proprietary like walled off AI that I think it stopped learning 2 or 3 years ago. So it's not like up to date,
But it knows
but
just
it's
about
still
everything
powerful.
relevant.
Yeah, I mean it's still extremely powerful. So I'll just go in there and be like, yeah, what's Barkhausen noise? What's the harmonic analysis of the magnetic tangential field strength, or something like that, and then it'll break it down for you. And I'm like, oh, still don't understand what you mean. What? Like, you can just have it break it down even further. It's very useful.
You can have it make your own YouTube videos that don't exist.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, you can. Yes, I've seen there's a chronic problem of that with like science videos that are almost right, like almost like, oh, you got 90% of the facts correct, but the rest of them no. It's just really strange. Like and a lot of them that post regularly have the same kind of logo, like same colors and stuff that have to do with it, and then they'll have the same unrelated like picture on the front, like the thumbnail. It'll just have some random stuff that doesn't have anything to do with the title on it, but it's like shocking, some kind of sea monsters popping out of a baby or something. You're like, what the hell is this? Like,
They got that SEO figured out.
well, yeah, I mean, it's like the weird the magazines at the grocery store when you were a kid. You'd go by and it'd be like, Ronald Reagan has sex with an alien or something. You're just like, wait, what?
You definitely
What
believe
is
I bought that one.
Yeah,
Yes,
oh
sir.
yeah.
National Enquirer,
So-
issue 977.
But yeah, I mean, it's in that same realm. I mean, there's people that watch that and then they grab their science,
They clutch their
facts
clutching
from that,
pearls.
and it's like, oh man, yeah, you should definitely not mix chlorine and ammonia. Like,
If you do it, though, do it in a confined space with limited ventilation for your own safety.
get as close to it with your face as possible. Yeah, no, it's. So you got to watch it, just like you do with Wikipedia or anything like that. If you're trying to get actual,
Yeah, but AI doesn't look at you and go, trust us, we're poor.
no, it just ropes you in.
I feel like Wikipedia is like, please donate
Yeah. Oh God.
every time.
Yeah. Please, sir. I only have a spot of bread left, please.
Yeah. Can't have any pudding if you donate your meat.
That's kind of what I thought about when you were talking about video earlier, adding video into your music. I was like, man, this is like we're going Pink Floyd full circle again. Like this is gonna be great. Go like or the Flaming Lips. They do a bunch of video
they
stuff
do.
with it too. So yeah, that would be awesome. Love to have that pop back.
Oh. Cause yeah, that was the thing on this last gig I saw that was kind of cool. That used AI. You would feed it what people were saying on stage, and it would send it off to the cloud, and it would send back closed captioning.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's super
pretty
handy.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
it took a day or so to get it to actually work, but it was pretty close. It's not 100% there. Like it'd be more accurate if somebody just sat there and followed it typing. But now you just have a little box sitting here, and whatever people say, it just goes right up on there. And then if you had a video too,
Oh, here they are.
you could send the audio of it, and it'll add closed captioning
That's
as you're playing the
awesome.
video if it didn't already have it in there.
Yeah, that's really
Scroll
handy.
down. There's a couple of those. So I'm showing Dan the evolution of digital Jesus right now.
Okay.
There's a series of a few images.
Of course, he looks like a DJ.
He does look like a DJ. He looks like he would play his chest.
Jesus,
He's like
just
looking at his
doing
phone.
a DJ set.
He does. He's got his phone on. Yeah. Yeah. He's got,
Oh, because he's digital Jesus.
yeah. But the one where it kind of looks like he's got this like quasi suit of armor on. He's got that big round thing in his chest. He can just be like, DJing on his chest.
I saw one. It was like create a picture of somebody mixing an epic show,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like kind of cool. It was like now make it more epic,
That looks like
more
Jared
epic,
Leto.
most
Yeah, he does.
epicness.
Wow.
So needless to say, that Midjourney thinks Jesus is white. Like let's
Yeah.
And
let's-
Jared Leto.
and
apparently.
Jared Leto. Jesus is Jared Leto according to Midjourney.
See, I make shit like this all the
Yeah,
time.
that's
Like
right.
I just get.
Yeah, I
just
saw
like,
that. I like
need
that.
to see this cliff. I need
And that's
to
what
see
I'm saying.
this
Have you ever-
tree.
Have you ever thought about like the video that you want to play with your music? Have you ever thought of
Oh
doing
yeah. That's
video
why I want to
instead
build
of,
my computer.
Okay, yeah, that would be because that would be amazing to have like
It's going to be amazing.
different
yeah.
journeys for people.
And that's
to
the
go
thing
on.
is
That would be
like I
crazy.
really want to build this badass fucking computer so I can get open source and download it on my local, so it's completely 100% private. And like I could have, so if you ask the AI anything, it will uncensored. You know what I mean? Because you're sampling, and I don't think you can do that with the Google one. That would be intense.
No, there are definitely ones out there that do not give a fuck. And I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
right now, those things exist. Yeah.
Well, I don't feel like maybe the iPhone can do it, but I haven't searched that deep yet.
No, they exist. There's also all kinds of ones for nefarious activities. Like I've seen one that hit the news here recently. Apparently, that AI apps that undress women are now really, really popular. Like taking pictures of fully clothed people, and it's just like, psh, this person's
Yeah,
naked now.
see, that shit's
What?
weird. And that's gonna ruin it for everybody, dude.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on.
At
You
the
made one
same
too many
time-
pairs of titties. Quit.
At the same time, like I would really like to make shit because it won't let me make images of hell and shit. You know,
Yeah,
or like sword fights.
Midjourney itself has a content restriction, so you can't ask it anything that sounds too sexual or too violent or gory.
Yeah.
It has a like content fencing on it. So if you
and
were
it's
to ask,
strict.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Wait, hell's supposed to be gory?
I mean, it just there's something I can't. I don't think I could ask it to show someone being harmed, or like it's not going to depict violence or like that kind of thing.
Yeah, because Adobe Firefly is like way sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Like I can't. You have to say for the Meta AI one, you can't say like big tits. You have to say voluptuous bosom or something like that. You have to
say anything.
you have to say it in a way that isn't
that's great.
sexualized.
Yeah,
you have
that
to
makes
have to
sense.
give it context in that manner before it will.
Being some kind of correct.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
But it was like my friends are terrible. I'm gonna pull that up. Listen, y'all. I'm sharing images from the group chat. Y'all are gonna hate it, but it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Like they did a female Megatron, and like all kinds of like silly stuff like that.
No, I definitely have thought of that.
What?
Making a
Oh,
movie with that.
Oh yeah.
Because honestly, it's like I've been thinking about how to do it for so long, and I've tried to draw, and I do get one scene, but it's like to really do it like I want to. I don't feel it wasn't until I started exploring with the AI art that it's like, wow, this might be possible. So I want to build a computer that can do it. edit video and put it all together.
Yeah.
Because I was seeing, because I don't have a subscription except to Firefly, and it does all kinds of shit. Like it's really accurate, and I don't, haven't really branched out farther than that. I've looked at the free standard diffusion.
The
My computer died, so I can't do that either now.
The generative fill function that Photoshop has now is run with that same AI, I'm pretty sure, and it's gnarly good. Like,
Is it?
real good? Yeah,
See, my computer died, so I can't use that either. It sucks.
it's pretty slick. I'm not gonna lie.
I'd like to use that.
And Photoshop 2024.
Well, see, is that one censored?
I've never asked it anything that would be something I wasn't okay with showing in public. So
I'm sure it is.
I mean, I can't just be like add 1,000 boobies. I don't think it's gonna be.
Well, I mean, I'm just talking about like, I don't know, because the Firefly is very sensitive. You can't even really describe what type of person you want to see.
Your coffee machine's going off again.
And if you want to make it scary, you can't put anything scary.
No,
Like make it creepy.
Eldritch
or it
horrors,
won't.
blah blah blah.
Grimm's fairy tale.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny how it's content aware like that, but I can't say that's a bad thing. I would rather have that than people just going wild with it and making all kinds of just absolute bullshit.
I can only imagine how far off the page it would get with how many people would be on there.
Oh, dude.
Asking
Let me
really
see how
hardcore
many
stuff, and you'd be
monthly
like, well,
subscribers.
I can't use this anymore. Looked up McDonald's and it turned back like gore porn or something. You'd be like, what the hell is this? Wow.
Right. Let's see.
Yeah, I did Lady Jesus Walks on Water. I thought that was. I was like, damn, that's pretty
Is
cool.
that that's the one you showed me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good. Lady Jesus.
Yeah, this thing is some random shit like that.
I like it.
And then I'll just type in. That one came about from just
pretty
typing up basically random words. Like I put in like eyeball, flowers, vines, and it was just like, oh, okay, that's cool. It gave me a bunch of that.
Neato.
Like yeah, because like this, these images right here are all the same prompt, and they're like totally different.
Just
Yeah,
variations.
it's
Yeah.
really wild.
But it still gets it all in there. It was like flower, teardrop, gold, highlights, iris, and it gave me all this different. And I was like, dang, that's so intense.
So, as of June 2023, Midjourney had over 16 million recurrent monthly users. So that's a lot of input. A lot of input. And I bet most of those are like me that pay the $10 a month to use the service in some sort of very open capacity. Like I've got like so many renders on the fast server and then so many more renders on the regular server, blah, blah, blah. But it never really, there's no cap. It's just how fast you get these images back is how they do this. Like what, pay for more priority access to processing power really is what the thing is, I think.
Yeah, and you can get if you have because I've been doing research, if you have at least a 16 gigabyte GPU, right? It's like a 3060 or something. You can download it locally.
Yeah.
And you can have your own database. Which would be interesting. Because I would love to be able to because I love even I use the Chat GPT.
I use
not the image one, but the talk one.
I use that to make prompts for Midjourney.
Oh, interesting. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a fucking trip.
I'll just ask it random shit, and it's just fucking damn. Like that's so well articulated, and like write a poem, and I'm like, God damn, that's good.
I will tell you this: don't lean into it real hard for your math.
Yeah, you
I
gotta
found
fact
out
check
the
that
easy
shit.
way. Yeah, I was doing some physics homework, and I was like, "Well, let's see," and I threw it in there, and I was like, "That was not right at all." And it threw back like 4 wrong answers, and then it gave me the right answer, and I was like, "Yeah, that. Don't be doing that.
Show your work.
Yep, don't be doing that.
Show your work.
It's good that it does
And
that.
that's
though,
weird,
'cause you
huh,
can go
that it
back
can.
through it. It can give you formulas. It knows what it wants to do. It's just it struggles with numbers for some reason right now. I don't know. Maybe
Certain
that's something
things
they've
about
upgraded for,
like
but
that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to-
No, you're good. I was just saying.
Damn it, Dan, there you
maybe
go
they have
again.
No.
upgraded for it.
It's the
but-
coffee, bro. Have thought comes out before I can be like, stop.
There's some audio consoles also trying to come out with AI where it will listen to what you've plugged into that channel and set the gain and EQ it for you and make it sound like it's quote unquote supposed to.
Yeah.
My previous employer, Digitrax, has some kind of crazy songwriting AI tool they're pushing right now. It's really neat. Like you can give it, like a verse, and then be like, oh, fill this out for a time period of blah blah and whatever, and it writes in between based what you give it, and they're super proud of it. Like it can do voices and music, so it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
They've spent a lot of time getting this like ready for the market. It's crazy good.
There's no stopping it now.
No, that's why you just got to roll with it. Like if you're
Yeah.
a butthurt about it, it's too late.
Yeah, it's too late.
It's
Well-
too late.
Like one of the things you were saying earlier, though, like being able to put in aspect ratios and certain sizing, and then also you're talking about like making posters for, and then event banners and all that. Like, there's still a knowledge that, I mean, maybe at some point you'd just be like, and make it the Facebook banner size, and that would kind of get rid of it. But like, you have to kind of know
Yeah, I
the
need.
proper resolution and what you need.
Yeah.
To put that on Instagram versus Facebook versus whatever, or put
But
it
it's
on a
really-
regular
it's-
poster.
It's a week course at
Yeah.
community college to learn how to do that.
But
If
still,
that,
it's
to learn how to
better
do
with
that.
somebody controlling it. And then, like Rucker was saying, people are still going to hire you because they like your style. And then, like you asked me earlier, you're like, do you work with a lot of the same crew? And a lot of that is because we all work well together.
Yep.
So
But-
even though there are, like, I'll go to another city and work, and they're like, aren't there people who do that? Yeah, but we're
But that's
Right.
what
Work
sucks.
together. Yeah,
Is
that's-
that guy is not an artist, and he's with his work, with his art, he's replacing photographers, painters of all different kinds of styles.
But isn't that
know.
a skill though? If he's able to manipulate it to that point where they're like, "Fuck that photographer! I'm going to use this guy's AI."
Exactly,
Like,
but all the photographers are like, "Well, what the fuck?" I mean, me, like, I don't need to. I mean, I have got way better Fox pictures that look way more real, and I've got some good Fox pictures
You
with
do.
my camera.
Yeah,
and
you
it's
do.
like
Yeah,
the
you
ones that
do.
I've got AI are like, damn. Like,
it could be, unfortunately, it could be a part where the artistic side of the photography starts to fade a little bit to where you only have a few people that's really doing that anymore. But then the brunt of every corporate or every business model is them using AI for that.
yeah.
And it may be a thing where you have to
Then
They can,
then,
like,
then the whole
play the
creative
game.
department is what you call prompt engineers.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, maybe you have to take your pictures and put them in AI just to compete with them. I mean, it seems stupid, but at the same time, like when the flow changes, it's like a
Like, you got
it's
to run with
crazy
it.
to
You gotta
paddle uphill, yeah, or up,
paddle up.
upstream.
You got to
Yeah,
paddle uphill.
uphill.
Sisyphus over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, and see, that's what I want to do.
Paddling
Is
the
do
rock up the hill.
You want to paddle uphill?
The rock.
I want to take my own pictures of the scenes and just get it rough with the scene I set up with my camera, and then put it into the AI and adjust it to make the movie.
Well, and the other thing, I don't think you're going to completely lose photography or cinematography because as far as like archival stuff, like recording the video for a concert or something, like AI just can't do that because
Yeah.
it could create something that's extremely similar, but it's not going to be that exact performance that somebody put down, and you have to have somebody behind the camera to operate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the thing is like you put the same prompt in twice and in different places. You're not going to get the same thing twice ever.
I mean, it's just like I said with the math thing. I mean, like I said, it took me 4 times of pushing that button for it to go, oh, yeah, here's the right answer. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's giving you something different every single time.
And
It's just-
sometimes it's a rabbit hole. Like,
I wonder if some of that's also on purpose because
It definitely could
at
be.
a higher end, people have been using computers to solve complex equations for a long time, and they were like, if we start letting everybody do this, some people are going to figure out some stuff that we don't want them to know.
That's
that
true.
was
I
the
mean,
biggest,
Yeah, you're honest. I mean,
the
if
latest
this
leak.
podcast gets pulled, we'll know.
The
They're
latest
coming after me
leak.
first.
And-
It's the Chinese.
I just watched this the other day, like the latest leak, because that was two things. The first thing was I was just reading an article, like has AI generated art hurt actual art sales, and no, it hasn't.
It's
And-
never taken money out of my pocket.
Yeah, I
right,
mean,
because
art
the people
sales
who
are
are
not
buying
happening on
art
that level.
still the same people.
Yeah.
But then The other thing that just happened recently with the AI news thing is that a AI text prompt thing is getting better at math, right? But the thing is, it was able to solve problems that had not been taught. So it's self-learning, and that was like the newest thing, because that's one of the scary things, because then you can start teaching the computer to like do the code of any program, and you can hack in any program, any bank account.
That's just a form of AI. That's unsupervised learning. You give it a bunch of data and you don't watch it do anything, and then you come back to it and you're like, all right, what can you do?
Yeah.
You try to guide it in a
Because
direction.
once it goes to self-learning, that's when it's going to go really fast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, whoa. And that's the thing, is the government or somebody will probably come in and put a cap on it before it gets to that.
They kill most of them that get like as close to self-aware as they talk about.
I think the closest analog we have in society right now as to how the future of AI is going to go is what Bitcoin is struggling with right now. Because that's something the government will never understand and can't figure out how to control. And I think that's going to be the exact same shit that's going to happen to AI. Like,
And-
politics is going to have all the same struggles with AI that they're having with Bitcoin right now. Because they can't figure out, or the internet. So they can't figure out how to squeeze the life out of it.
You can't put the bars like all the way around it. Then it's not a jail. It's just in a container.
Yeah, it's just there.
Yeah.
Craziness.
It is, Dan. It is craziness.
Wow. Man, I need to take a restroom break.
What do you want to, when you come back, do you want to tune us up and improv some stuff so we can play our outro?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Can I lock that door? You don't lock on me? No.
That was just a good goal.
So I can?
All right, so pressure's on, Dan. When you get back, we'll start the music.
Bum, bum, bum.
Don't mean to put you on the spot like that, but I am. Well, since he's out there, let's talk about what we would like 2024 to be. Let's start with you, Ruck, since you're on my right, and that's an arbitrary decision.
As far as art, I would really like, especially with this last week, I had a presentation for a design and it got accepted, and I would really like to be able to do more stuff like that for them. I mean, it's a machined bracket to be able to hold a sensor that should already be on the machine, but they went the cheap route and bought the cheap machine and it doesn't have it, and then they figured out, oh, we need that.
We need that.
Yeah, you do. So,
Corporate shit.
yeah, oh yeah. But I feel like my design saved them a lot of money from what they had previously thought they were going to do with it. So, and then I've submitted quite a few other like improvements for them to do, which a couple of them could actually make me quite a bit of money, which would be nice because
Yeah, it would be
they do a
nice.
kickback. Like I think it's 10% if they can project that they're going to save so much money. Like they're going to save $500. I get like what, $5?
Yeah.
$50, $5.
So spending that on you is the cheap way to go.
Yeah.
Versus, whatever, continuing the status quo.
Yeah, I mean, so they just want to cut you in. They get buybacks basically from whoever they're making parts for doing continuous improvement, and that's what they're called. They're basically.
Yeah, I can hear Magnus licking himself. I was like, what is that? Oh, that's a dog.
I mean, it can be anything in these improvements. Like one lady put in a request for the stand-up desks.
Mm-hmm.
She put in a thing like everybody should be able to select one, with us knowing how bad it is to sit for 8 hours and all this other stuff. But yeah, I would really like to be able to do more design stuff for them, and then just having more time at home
Yeah, that'd be nice.
to be able to do art stuff. And it's not been very conducive of doing that here lately. Trying to do the school and the hour away job.
Right.
So
Well, Dan, hold off for a second. We're going to go around one more point. What are you trying to get done in 2024? What do you want 2024 to look like?
I would love to keep playing music. I want to start doing. I want to find a good venue where I can do I want to do at least 4 next year. I want to have a spring and summer and fall equinox jam where we have an outdoor venue. We get some vendors, and some fire throwers, some painters. I got like an old school artist meetup.
Overhand. Yeah. I'm down. Call me.
We got shows in Big Sun Gap, Virginia. Shout out to Creekside.
Nice.
Good food, good times. They're going to have us 4 times over there. Hoping to get another contract with Crown Plaza Hotel. And, of course, the P Pub.
The P Pub.
Union Jacks. We love playing there. And Crafty Bastard.
Yeah, I need to catch you on a patio at Union Jacks one time. I'm sad I missed that last time.
I really enjoy playing Crafty Bastard.
Yeah.
It's a fun place to play.
I've seen a good bit of music there.
I've never even been to one out west. The one downtown. It's pretty cool. When they have the outdoor thing. And he has the vendors and stuff. I want to do just like that. I want to do that more often.
What about you, Preston?
Mostly the same thing that I've been doing, just trying to get better at things, and then also build up more of a community here in Knoxville and the surrounding area of people who want to get into live sound. And yeah.
Well, I guess if we're going to round this out, I would like to say that I would love to do more live events, more guided paint sessions, and hopefully, if the conversations and things I got kicking around right now come to fruition, can do a live show with some other local podcast presenters and have our conversations of value in front of live people at small venues around town. That's really the big push for the KAANP. But for me, creatively, outside of that, artistically speaking, I would really like to further my technical knowledge of the tools that I have so I can more effectively use them. I would like to incorporate more digitally captured and digitally manufactured items into my physical artwork, and see if I can get maybe like one of my arms printed next year. Like, I ain't gonna say I'll print my whole body next year, but if I could get just maybe my left arm done, that'd be pretty damn cool. And we can start there. But Ruck's got to scan my face first. So we got to work on this. Everybody, we're going to kick with some tunes, and we're going to mosey on out of here in a minute or so after Dan gets some fun to listen to. I think we got it. Preston's going to go with the effects.